Hello and welcome to the Undateable Me podcast. I am your host, the undateable Jimmy Lee Lard, the sock snob, and this is our weekly show that deals with the struggles of relationships and dating. And we do it in a very entertaining way. Because what's out?
They pretty good today.
They out. I see them. Maybe you don't have my vantage point, but I see them. So Hollie got her tatas out for everybody listening in podcast land. But we do it in a very entertaining way. And we don't just talk about the struggles. We are on a journey to find solutions. That's the important thing. So this week, Hollie.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm asking a very simple question. And that is, are you done with unhealthy relationships? I'm over it. Let's go. I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on me. There ain't nobody getting I'm doing fine by myself, and I like it. I've been doing things by myself. You should try it. Come on. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself.
Had a little note on them.
Oh, the same note they just heard. Very good, because that song is available on iTunes, by the way. It's called I Kinda Like Myself. It has been our theme song since season 1. And people are like, we love that song. Because I was like, maybe we should switch it up for season 2. I got cussed out.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I got cussed completely out. Oh, we're changing the song,
Right.
And yeah, so it's called I Kinda Like Myself. It's on iTunes by my former group called The Connection. I say former group, but we together forever. It was like a fusion of hip hop and R&B. So I was obviously the R&B. Do I look like I'm giving hip hop?
I'll put your cat backwards.
No, I'm not going to do that. And also, I don't give in to peer pressure, so never did, Nope, wasn't my thing. But yeah, so today we're talking about unhealthy relationships as we then, you got to talk about the bad or whatever, the things we've been through. We share our experiences on this show. We don't hold back as you have. Well, I have held back. I don't know that I will hold back on this one.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
So, and, I've said before, I try not to hurt people's feelings when we're talking, but I also have to understand the fact that you did it.
Right.
It's not like I'm lying. So,
and it happened.
So, and I don't have bad relationships with my exes. So, fuck Frank. But,
right.
But for the most part, I've had some good experiences, and still, my mother recently passed away, and one of them reached out like, hey, just checking on you. I heard the news, blah, blah, blah. You should be able to be cordial with people. And if you were not just a butthole in the relationship, there wasn't, a lot of infidelity and fighting and all of that stuff, you can still be friends, but,
yeah.
and if not,
you're not going to get no sympathy for Dussy?
No.
Okay.
First of all, what? No.
You had to think about it, Jimmy. You was like, what?
No. I'm like, where did that come from? No, I think about it because, I'm, doing my own little thing now. So,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, but unhealthy relationships, we have all had some bad relationships.
Yes.
And I think now might be the time to kind of talk about what we not going to do.
Mm-hmm. But we're not going to revisit.
What we not going to revisit. Right. So, are there things like in past relationships that you like never again? That that it's something you wouldn't tolerate in your marriage and all of that stuff. Because Holly got the ring and all of that stuff. So are there things that you've experienced in the past that you even put up with possibly, but that now you're like, not at this age, not at this phase. I'm not doing it.
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Shit, I got a list. Zoom in. No job. Got to play the game.
Wait, we got to slow this down.
No ambition.
Wait.
Oh.
Okay, no job. So apparently you've dated someone who did not have a job, it sounds like.
I kind of did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about that was an issue? Because for some people, maybe, hey, look, technically I don't have a job.
But what was the other one? Ambition. You have ambition. This is a job.
Okay. Yeah.
This is don't try to put yourself with that crowd.
Yeah. And I ain't broke.
See what I'm saying? If it ain't broke, don't
put
fix
the camera on me. A friend of mine and I, were we in Paris maybe? I don't know. But there was a group of us. And, sometimes, when you see some black folks, you're like, or maybe it's a server and they're not giving you the attention they should or something like that. But I forgot wherever we were. She was like, we're not broke. We got money.
Right.
you missing out on your tip while you are acting silly. So I don't think it was Paris. But anyway, so no job. And no ambition, it sounds like.
Won't let me be myself.
Listen. In what ways for you, though?
A lot of ways. I feel like I'm more goofy than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm goofy. I want to play. I want to joke. I want to laugh.
Yes.
I really want to laugh.
And this is somebody who wanted you to present a certain persona.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's just not me.
I know
I'm
somebody
sorry.
who's going through something similar right now. And I'm always telling her, like, girl, you crazy as hell.
It's draining hanging with that person when they not they self. Because now you got to kind of like be like certain stuff you can't say and you can't do.
And that's how she is. This is a person who used to be so much fun. Mm-hmm. And now you're like, oh God, it's like going out with a corpse or, whatever. Because she stops doing anything or, she doesn't say anything that she thinks he's going to have any issues with. So, That's no way to live. I couldn't do. First of all, I ain't never. I don't give a damn who you were. So, what else was on your list that you named? Because I think you rattled off probably a bunch there that like, everybody's dealing with.
Yeah.
Right. What else you're not dealing with at this phase in Hollie's life?
Arguing about unhealthy arguing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Unhealthy arguing.
That, I've talked about in the past. That's not a big issue for me. First of all, I think that people can disagree without going dirty, without whatever. So I try to establish early on in a relationship that I always have your best intentions in mind.
Yeah.
And I don't have an interest or need, some people, I just wanted that bitch to feel it or whatever. Yeah. I don't have that thing anyway. But I'm not going to take the low blows or talk about how musty your mama is or, all the things. I cannot with you. All the things. Because I'm mad at you, so I'm going to take that extra stab and go deep and twist the knife, so that has never been a thing with me. I am more likely to piss you off because I'm not participating in when it starts going there. I'm not participating. Yeah. Either we can talk about this like we're some adults, or we not going to talk about it at all.
Right. And I think you really don't see how unhealthy it is until you see it in somebody else's relationship. Like right now, my little sister and her baby daddy is going through it. And I just be like, oh my God, this was me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks so dumb and it looks so stupid and they can't see the bigger picture.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of those things, you do better when you know better. So Yeah, so I've never had that issue. In fact, I've had somebody really, really would get mad that I would not engage in those types of arguments or whatever. I was dating somebody with a vajayjay back then. I don't fool with vaginas now, but
Why not?
and girl, can't do it. Can't do it. Don't know how I did it, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, she would get so mad at the fact that I'm not, and that's what she was used to in relationships as well. So that I'm not that last dude. So enjoy.
I had to learn how to get out of that
arguing
too.
with yourself.
Yeah, because then you feel like, dang, they ain't finna argue. Now I gotta ramp it up.
Right. So yeah, nope, not for me. So I'm good on that. What else?
Not liking my best friend.
Ooh, like if they don't get along with your best friend, meaning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you get these people that you and your whole ass friends and you this and your friends this and your friends that, like, they gonna be here. You
right.
not.
Okay.
Especially if they some
we
good
done
Jews.
been through 3 of you in the last 2 years.
And we're gonna talk about you after you leave.
Right. So yeah. And I am one where I have had some very close friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
So like you said, they are going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So, get it together. And as far as I'm concerned, their thoughts of you might impact, because the way I look at it, they might see something that,
yes,
blind to see, because, folks out here, you get, I'm trying to find a clean word for it.
Don't use it to be dirty.
No, I want a clean word for it instead of saying blankmatized. You know what I was about to say?
Oh, dignitized.
Oh, you just gonna say it,
Penalmatized.
Penalmatized or bootymatized,
Mm-hmm.
So, and they might see something that I don't see or whatever. And if they bring it to my attention, now I'm not one, some people you can't say nothing, you can't tell them nothing about their man. Or their woman or whatever. But
I know those.
I heed warnings. So I've had situations where after the relationship was over, they'd be like, oh, I couldn't stand his ass no way. Or I couldn't whatever. Oh, he was always doing this. I'm like, where was that feedback then? I could have cut this shit off sooner because my philosophy, fail faster.
Yes. Yeah, we let each other know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they scared of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason they don't like your whole ass friend, as they say.
Right.
Because they know you don't mean no good. Get away from her.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. What else is on your list of things Hollie will never deal with again?
Not going 50-50. We had the conversation of 50-50 does not have to be financial.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work and I work and, you better at doing something than I am and you picking up that extra slack, that
1963, you get off work and you cook, clean, do the laundry, mop the floors, clean the windows and all that stuff.
And he just
while he watching TV after he get off work.
Right.
Nope, we left that back in 63. If I'm putting in just as many hours, if I'm contributing just as much to the household as you, then why wouldn't we share the other duties as well?
Right.
So,
and I know a lot of people like that who are in relationships, who are in marriages that they both work, and the man feels like, oh, I don't have to do this. That's something that you do.
Right.
Like we share the responsibilities of taking kids to the dentist and cooking and, cleaning up and doing different things. But I will say this. If I did not have to work, I would be at home and I would be taking care of kids and cooking. I would bring you your slippers.
Oh, wait. She say this. Her kids damn near grown. So by taking care of kids, she talking about answering the phone like, can we stay out at such and such house?
Right.
No, bring your ass home. And that's it. So
they getting
taken care of. No.
Yeah. But that's when I think that's when you feel like really safe and secure in your relationship, because what we talked about not too long ago, nowadays you give somebody an inch and they feel like because they making all the money and they doing this and they doing that, now you got to follow their rules or whatever. Yeah. That not being with a person with that type of mind frame. I don't like.
And we also talked about with 50-50 that, sometimes you don't have 50 to give.
Yeah.
So this week, whereas you may normally be the one who does the laundry, or you may normally be the one who cooks dinner, and tonight you just ain't got it in you.
Yep.
So, because I've been working on this project at work and it's overwhelming, or I've been taking care of an ailing parent or something like that. So there are times where you might only have 30% to give.
Right.
And, that partner of yours then steps in and provides the extra 20 or so on. So you don't always have 50-50. So,
that's true.
But as we said when we did that episode, don't you sit your ass in 20% for 2 years thinking that, he gonna stick around or she's gonna stick around.
Right.
You'll be by yourself with your 20%.
Because it ain't gonna happen.
Right. So, yeah, so I understand that one. Anything else? What else would Hollie not put up with at this phase in your life?
I don't want to say like the typical stuff. I don't want to say like
what do you mean by typical stuff? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I feel like everybody,
yes,
kind of work their way around certain things. But you ain't gonna bring no motherfucking baby up in here.
Ooh,
I'm gonna just let you know that right now.
Okay.
That's
very good. And as a disclaimer, and you guys, for those of you who've listened to this podcast and watched the show, you know that Hollie's husband is sitting 10, 15 feet from us engineering this session. And so some of these, I don't know if she's engaging with the conversation, but she's also giving some warnings at the same time. I feel like I need to put him under temporary order of protection or something, because she listen, I want you to pay attention to this shit I'm saying right now. So
we had those conversations though.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
so that's
But yeah, I think a lot of people find that there are people who have accepted cheating from a person, or they've dealt with it, worked through it, but now you done brought a baby in here. So yeah. So for the record, I don't ever have to probably worry too much about that. So that's not on my list. So not that it's not possible now.
I was just say, wait, he could get somebody pregnant.
That's right.
You could get somebody pregnant.
I'm not getting nobody pregnant because I'm not fooling around with no vaginas.
Yeah. What they call Jimmy?
Vaginas. So, and hopefully, like you said, anything could happen, but I know one thing I'm not worried about is taking care of somebody else's, responsibility.
They used to do it back in the olden days.
Not my olden days. Nope. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey.
You not Viola Davis?
I'm not.
Denzel brought that baby home?
Nope, not at all.
What Denzel say? This baby needs a mama. Shit.
Yep. Let me tell you one thing I ain't never had a problem with, and I've said it before. I ain't never had a problem getting out of a relationship.
I have.
Because if it's inevitable that this is not going to work, I recognize it, and I can still love you and leave.
True.
I can still love you and leave. So love ain't it. Love, because let me tell you, over time that will even fade,
Right.
So, but if something is not serving you, or even more importantly, it's a detriment to your health and your well-being and who you are and all of that stuff, bye. Yeah.
Some people can't see it when they're in it, though.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely see it. So I can be very objective even about myself. And again, I'm not saying every time, you get into an argument, I'm out this bitch then, or, you throw in the towel at the first sign of trouble. That's not what I'm saying. But when you when it's inevitable.
You do.
And unfortunately, that's why you have folks who are breaking up for 5 and 10 years. And in the process of the breakup, sometimes you done had another baby, or you ended up buying a house together, or, other obligations. So, yeah, I gotta go. And again, I can love you from across the street. Still thinking about you. Yep. All right. Well, you have a great time now.
Right. Go ruin somebody else's life.
Yeah, that part. All right, what else? So we know the cliche stuff you don't care about, but what else is Hollie not doing in this phase of her life? What are you not dealing with in a relationship?
Let's see. Somebody boring.
Ooh, okay.
Somebody
We
just
don't think
boring.
about that too,
Yes.
And I know somebody who actually, same person I was talking about, that was really fun and all of that, and married somebody who's very conservative. Not married, actually, they're not even married, but in a relationship with somebody who is very conservative and dull. That motherfucker will put you to sleep just talking to him, So, but just to see where she's come from, being the wild girl and all the things, a lot of fun. And then she got with, Mr. Boring, and
it's just been downhill.
Yep. And I want somebody who enjoys life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe that's why and by the way, let me say this as I say this. I a couple times I just happened to end up in relationships with people who are significantly younger than me, 14, 15, maybe more right now.
Years younger.
Years
not
younger.
age.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. Not 14, 15-year-old. The fuck? So, and I think it may be that maybe I'm attracted to the good times that they still have or
Right.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Because you're
Now,
still
don't
young
get me
at
wrong.
heart.
Right. Now, they have been mature people as well. They have been, where they're not out here just wilding, because I'm not doing that.
Right.
Shutting the bar down and shit like, back in the day. But it's enough where you're
Right.
like, you don't just feel like, oh God, what are we doing? We just sitting here riding together. Like,
Right. Yeah.
So maybe that is an element of it. I don't know. So.
I know people like that. They just be around and they just around.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
they
dang.
get up and they sitting there sipping that cup. No, we not 80 years old. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So
I like to, and it can even be that I'm dealing with a homebody. I just don't want you to be a boring homebody,
Right.
So if we have good times, we laugh, we joke, or whatever, that's cool. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be somebody who is always doing something adventurous out in the street,
Because I enjoy being home with my person.
Yeah.
We watch TV, eat snacks. Hell, we had a baby powder fight. Yeah.
A baby powder fight.
Yes. We had a baby powder fight the other day. But it's those just little fun things that you do.
Can you explain to me what a baby powder fight consists of?
The baby powder was on the dresser and he was talking crazy, and I was like, I'm gonna throw this baby powder on you. And I did. And he wrestled me down for it and dumped it. It was all in my sew-in. I had to wash it. It was everywhere.
There's something wrong with y'all.
But that little stuff is fun, though. And you're not going nowhere. You in the house.
No, I feel you. Yeah. I like to have a good time. And and people think that I have to be on some extravagant trip or any of like that. And actually,
we like that too.
That has been an inhibitor for me for relationships as well, though. People thinking they can't live up to the trips or the things
that you give yourself already.
That I've already. And honestly, from my perspective, been there, done that with just when people and been there, done that to the extent that when people are even talking about stuff, I don't even respond and say, girl, I went there 20 years ago. Or, you know what I mean? So I don't even, pitch in unless it's, to
Jimmy be like, oh, okay.
Right. In a minute.
Jimmy famous for that shit.
Do.
Oh, okay.
Yep. People, I even let people think they're punking me or whatever. And, oh, okay, and just let it ride.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother me. I don't have the type of ego that requires me to,
fall in with the peasants.
Give a damn. Not with the peasants, no. Now, one thing I do not do, and you guys know, I don't look down, and not saying that I'm in some position to look down on nobody, but yeah, so what else? Anything else? Because we've been through a lot. Damn, Hollie, you done put up with a lot of stuff, huh?
Man, that was being censored.
Okay, give me one non-censored thing. Not, no, you know what? Don't. Because Hollie will take us to a place that we didn't know we were going to go.
I ain't gonna let nobody shoot my tires out no more.
Bitch, did you...
Yes.
Did you just say no more?
That's right. That's right.
Now I'm just concerned
just
for your safety. And,
I
not anymore, obviously, not with Jordan, but I'm just saying, like,
not no
girl.
more, but he's been through some things. That's why God that's why God was like, here you go, because you
Yes.
deserve it.
Ooh, I'm so glad you got Jordan in your life.
And he glad to have me in his life too.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I knew Hollie pre-Jordan, of course, so
Mhm.
I just love him for her. I really do. So, oh God, thank you, thank you, Jordan. Thank you,
Mhm.
Jesus, too, but thank you, Jordan. So,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Now, the reason I'm asking about all these things that you would not put up with in a relationship anymore is and this is getting, for those of you in podcast land, we talked last week about our book written by the host of the Undateable Me podcast,
Mhm.
Speak Life and Live Full. And when we start moving into the second chapter about, creating healthy relationships, what was chapter 1? Finding love. But
Deserving,
yeah,
being whole
right.
and
Yeah.
not
So
relying on other people.
right, yeah. So when it comes down to creating a healthy relationship, that's why I was bringing up all the things that I'm not going to put up with,
Right.
so that we can ease into this conversation. And the way we did this book was to make you think about things. And sometimes that's, well, what did I put up with in the past
Mhm.
that is, that I need to sort of recognize and realize that I ain't doing that no more. I've grown past getting hit upside my head. I've
Mhm.
grown past I was speaking in general. So,
Okay.
right. So speaking in general, but the things that you've grown past that you just won't do anymore. So the affirmation in this particular chapter is that I only entertain healthy, joyful relationships.
Amen. And sometimes you don't even know some of those things that you were going through were unhealthy until you get into a healthy one.
That part. So yeah, that's something that's key. And again, you need something, and that's where journaling is so important, and particularly if it's a guided journal that's sort of directing you to something that you may not have thought to think about, and making you sort of do the work of just identifying things you won't put up with and so on. So, but again, this particular book sort of gives you affirmations about how you plan to communicate with your current relationship, or what things you won't bring into it that are holdovers from the last relationship, and so on. So we kind of have to do that work, though, in order to do it. So again, with the book Speak Life and Live Full, if you haven't gotten it yet, make sure you get it. Again, and we're not trying to hawk books, but that way you'd be able to follow along. Hollie, shut up. That way you would be able to follow along and sort of do this work with us. So last time we did not talk, or we didn't dig into any of the actual soul work questions or journal reflections. So we talked about the soul work, but in each one of the chapters, we give you some specific things to kind of hone in on and then write about, or at least be able to look within as well. So, are there things that you do in your relationship, or are there habits or patterns within your relationship that you are ready to change, based on some of the stuff we've talked about, or the need to create a healthy and joyful relationship? Are there things you're willing to let go of and stop doing? So,
My mouth.
well, actually, that's kind of
Yeah.
where I was just about to go. When I was talking about how we don't communicate well, we argue or whatever, and we have that tendency to poke the knife in and then twist. Well, maybe that's something, for the sake of having a good, healthy, joyful relationship, that you can give up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but again, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to see your role in the problem.
Yeah. Because you'll get with somebody that's like you. You know what I mean? That has done the work,
Yep.
that has bought the book on Amazon
Oh,
and has done the work and worked through it, and they get with somebody like the old me,
mm-hmm.
and then they looking at you like you crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you still immature. You still
Right.
working through your stuff.
Exactly.
Go on Amazon and buy the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
So yeah, but again, some of the journal questions I think will really help you to kind of pinpoint what questions you need to be asking yourself to get to that place of, you know, healthy, joyful relationships. So for one thing, sometimes we haven't even thought about what healthy and joyful relationship looks like for you. Like, so we ask you then, well, what does that even look like in your head? What does it even feel like or whatever,
especially
right?
when you don't see it.
Yep.
You're not surrounded by it.
Yeah.
The TV doesn't portray it as good as they used to, like
Yeah.
with the Cosbys and, all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and even if television and everything else was all hunky dory, sometimes your stuff is still messed up. So,
Yeah.
and sometimes we can't see past the circumstance that we're in, right? In order to know that there's better out there. So, sit back and imagine, put together like, oh, you know what? One thing, because for me, even at this point in my life, there are different things that I see in other couples that will make me go, oh, you know what? I like that. I'll take the two of you, for instance, with Jordan. I love Jordan. I'm about to give you some props. Holly gonna give you some tonight when I finish this. So let me tell you something that I like about Jordan. Jordan, and I've said some of this stuff before, right? First of all, Jordan is a man's man, right? So, some people you got to take out the trash or whatever, or do the things, right? That, he has decided are his things to do and you've decided your things, he'll just do it because it needs to be done.
Right.
I like how supportive he is of you. You know what I mean? So, and I would imagine in your list at this point, I bet you ain't going to deal with another person who ain't supportive of things that you do, right? At this phase in your life. Holly will say, I want to go to, anywhere. And it could be some shit like the moon. And Jordan be out here looking for spaceships and shit. So I love how supportive he is of your vision and dreams. And not that you don't reciprocate, right? So reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
So don't say it no more. Okay.
I tried.
So I like that. So when I see things, how supportive he is, like I said, just an all around man's man. I like that. I'll say, that's one thing that I like. That's one thing I would like to have in a relationship or whatever. Or maybe it's something that I want to embody. Maybe that's something that I want to be for the person I'm with or whatever. You know what I mean? So
seeing
when you
positive
see
things in others and working it out with yourself.
Right. Yeah. And it doesn't matter that, y'all are younger than me. I have other friends who are married and have great relationship. And there are things, that they do that I'm like, oh, you know what? I like that. That's a quality I like,
Right.
And so maybe that can help you to build that idea of what an ideal relationship looks like and feels like for you. So, because like I said, sometimes, you just don't know. Because like I said, your grandma was putting up with, her husband having a whole second family on the other side of town. Your mama was getting hit upside her head with shoes and shit.
Your auntie was a hoe.
Oh my.
Your uncle was a pimp.
Oh
it's just all bad.
Well, there's that. Okay. So yes. So I think that those are some of the questions then that we need to, kind of answer in order to get to your own healthy relationship.
Exactly.
So, what else? What other things when we say we only entertain healthy and joyful relationships, we talked about the things we won't put up with. Are there some must-haves now where you are in your life? What are some must-haves for a relationship?
Progression. Just always, moving forward to the next thing. And I don't ever want to. I've seen. I don't even want to say older people. A lot of people. I've seen people be in relationships or marriages, and they sleep in separate rooms.
Yeah.
And I said this to my significant other. Like, I never want that to happen. Like, whatever the case or whatever put them there, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I can't see myself laying in the bed and not putting my foot on you.
Yep.
Throwing my leg on you or something. You know, like.
Yep. No, I get that.
Yeah.
And, a lot of that is when I talk about those relationships that they're dead and gone, but you're just hanging on to the skeleton of it.
Yeah.
That's one of those situations in a lot of cases where, you both know this thing is over.
Yeah.
But you're holding on. Sometimes, we're holding on until, the kids get out of high school or go into college or whatever. Sometimes, let me tell you, people are weird. Sometimes, you have a parent that doesn't like divorce or something. So you waiting on your mama to die before you leave him. Like, what?
That is a sad life to live.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So I know people who were waiting on their parents to die before they came out of the closet. So, all right, you fuck around, your mama lived to be 120.
Right. Now, what if a motherfucker outlive you?
Right.
Now, you didn't live your whole life based
that part,
unhappy.
That part. So, yeah. So what else is something that you must have in a relationship now?
I must have a likeness with that person. Like, I want to be around that person. I want to, because like you said, you got so many people that don't even like each other for real. And my coworker, she was just telling me her and her husband, they just booked a trip. They empty nesters. And it's going to be like their first trip where they're going to be together. And they finna just backpack it across Germany.
Oh, shit.
And they realizing like they actually like each other.
Good.
So, yeah, I must have somebody around me that I like and I want to be around.
Gotcha.
As soon as I be like, I can't wait to get away from this nigga.
Right.
It's a problem.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got some good points. So, anything you want to add?
Me calling you or asking you for advice, or I saw this thing that said it shouldn't be looked at as nagging. You know what I mean? It should be looked at as like, out of all the people, this person felt safe enough to call me because they know I'm going to fix it. If I can't call my nigga to fix something, it's a problem. And that's why people be calling other niggas.
Oh my. Okay. Well, there's that,
So if you study saying like, oh, she called me for everything, or she when she get to calling other people, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And vice versa. The same go for
like
men
I said,
with women.
You have one who, maybe you might put the vision out there or have the vision, but he's gonna try and figure out how to get it done. So,
Do you have something you have to have?
First of all, some of the things you said, it has to be somebody I like and find interesting. Otherwise, do I lose interest and move on? I am a very patient person, but that shit only goes so far. So better get your shit together at some point, right? Other things, I think relationships should be built on a friendship. Personally. So, because there might be, whether it's, I don't expect the two of you to like all the same things, right? And do all the same things, but there has to be enough common thread that, holds that friendship together,
Exactly.
I don't care if it's, you both like scary movies or if you both this or whatever. So there has to be enough of that in order to keep a thing going, I think. So, but ultimately, like I said, a friendship. And the thing I was talking about with Jordan, where you want to feel supported in what you're doing, I've been in relationships where the both of us are so independent and so used to doing things ourselves that, we don't lean on each other when we need to. And it's sometimes things that were so simple that I could have helped you with that. While you sitting your dumb ass over there going through this thing by yourself, I could have helped you with that, and we would have been over it and done with it,
Exactly.
So things I must have love, of course,
Yeah.
if it's not that. But that's also too, by the way, why things like friendship, because those moments, even though love is always there, but sometimes the like can go away, somebody has done something or whatever. But, you need all those other things in place to bridge that gap when they appear, so you have other things to fall back on other than just love, other than just friendship, other than
Exactly.
just support or whatever. So I think all those things in tandem is really what kind of
Pulls it all together.
Yep.
You know what we missed?
What?
The penile. No, I just we was doing so good. We did not mention sex not one time.
Right? I actually,
but
thought
that just
about
goes
that,
to show you we
yeah,
evolving.
These are things that are more important. What you mean we evolving? I think that's you evolving, because I ain't never sat over here and acted like. Okay, so let's talk about the penile, because that could be very different, because some people might, have a whole different take on it. Your take might be different from my take
That's
on
true.
what the requirements are, which we are not about to say, Jordan, so feel safe in that. I'll say it from my end. There's a whole lot of stuff I'm not going to deal with or whatever, because I won't say why, but, there are things like, you're not coming over here with some 12-inch penis or something thinking I'm going to do something with it. No, I don't like choking.
You know, nothing wrong with a choke.
A little choke, but no, yeah. So give me good, healthy.
What if this person has everything else?
Well, it's not a big deal for me. So they can not have everything else and it still not be an issue.
So no, I'm saying, what if they got everything on your vision board, but it's 12 inches and you like, can't do it?
Yeah. Well, depends on what we're gonna do. Because listen, well, I don't know. I have not experienced that aspect of being gay yet. What I'm trying to say.
You worded it, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I don't know what 8 inches feels like. I don't know what 6 inches, 5 inches for. But I figure in my head, thinking logically, because I'm a very logical person, if I'm going to go that route if I'm gonna go that route one day, I'm thinking it would make sense to go smaller than larger. Because wait, what you say about Sheila? Remember what
it got the
you
last.
you named your vagina Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
You said Big Sheila got to last.
Yes.
Well, Big Bob gonna have to last too, I guess. So if I ever go down that road, it sure won't be with no porno cock. You ain't ripping none of this out.
Oh my God.
No, ma'am.
Yeah,
can't do it.
We did so good. We
waited all the way up.
We was doing so
yes.
good, but
old Hollie ignorant. So, but for you then, if that's the case, since apparently you talking about something, it's okay to choke sometimes and shit. So, no, it's not. So, but yeah, but from my perspective, listen, give me smaller than larger if that's the case.
You're gonna work your way up.
What is this, a 12-step program? What the fuck? Listen, I'm not saying that, at this point in my life, I'm getting ready to be with a person for the rest of my life or anything. But, yeah, I'm not on this 12-step program, so, of inches. So, and then that could go reverse. I mean, and let me say this, too. And this is very important, particularly for any guys that are listening and women who may be disillusioned about this. Let me tell you something. With the exception of people like my friend Big Rhonda, who got strap-ons and stuff, the person you dating
just dropped his head.
She do. She and I, we shared a room down in Puerto Rico. The first thing I told her, I was like, listen. Because it was just one king bed. I was like, listen, you leave that goddamn strap on in this, on the main line. Don't bring that shit down here. But
oh my God.
With the exception of folks who can purchase their equipment, you get what you get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people walk around so proud of the fact, like thinking it's some big deal that they have a large penis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking like, you just got the luck of the draw.
Right.
You didn't do nothing to earn it. You ain't doing nothing to maintain it. It just came with the territory.
Oh my God.
You know?
Right.
And it take more blood to keep that motherfucker full. Oh, look me. You know,
get
right.
try to pull it back in. Let
right.
it back out.
I'm just saying, you know, so you acting like that's some big thing or what? Well, thing. But, you know, you ain't did nothing just because you got a big penis. So is what I'm getting at. So, and again, if there's so much more of a person for me to like, you know, personality and all the things that I give, you know, that ain't no big thing. Right. You get what you came with, you know, so you can't trade up, can't trade down.
And when you love the person, that don't matter no way.
So I guess I could love a person with a large penis.
Yes, you could.
I think that shit is good to look at on screen. That's for porn.
Oh my goodness.
It's not for real life.
Not for real life.
Not for real life. So.
No, the Judys, you know, we say boyfriend dick is good dick.
Yes, I agree with that. That's all I think you need is a little boyfriend peen.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
We both was like,
right. All right. Yep. For this particular chapter, when we reach the end and it talks about what you should walk away with. So you deserve a relationship that feels like peace, not a battlefield. Let me sit this book down for a second and talk about that. I am in a relationship to be happy, to feel love and support and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fight every day.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be like a battlefield, like Rocky and all of that shit, you know?
Yeah.
I need this to be something I enjoy. So that, you know, to me, that's very important. This is achieved through love, mutual respect, honest communication, and continued work and commitment to making the relationship happy and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Commitment to making the relationship happy and healthy. In other words, that should be our ongoing goal. You know, that should be, you know, if we think about our relationship as a project or whatever, this is what it's always leading up to, you know.
Exactly.
So that's, you know, my thoughts. And I think that's what, you know, this chapter is aiming to have you kind of walk away. You know, by the time you're done and you've had all the thoughts and, you know, thought about all the things you're going to change and improve, or where did I get that from? And why am I still holding on to that type of idea or whatever? By the end, that's where we should be. So again, a commitment to making the relationship happy and healthy.
Preach.
So that means you got to keep working, Jordan. You know, you got to keep taking your wife on nice little dates. She got to keep, you know, whatever weird stuff she be doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no telling what. You know, continue to take good trips like the two of you do and all of that stuff. So, and that goes both ways. You know, I've seen Holly like, oh, I'm getting this for Jordan, or I'm taking Jordan to such and such or whatever, you know, for his birthday. So that's, I think, you know, what it takes.
Yeah.
Continued
it's work.
Yep.
Work on yourself. Then you work on a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think that is it for this episode, where we did so well for so long until we got towards the end and Holly had to bring up peens. You know, we had avoided it. And I was thinking it in my head. I was like, oh, we ain't brought it up at all.
I did too.
So
they probably was listening thinking too, like, they ain't saying shit
about schlongs.
Right. The whole time. What you just give us? We was getting there.
Yeah,
just give us a minute.
Right. So, all right. Anything else to add before we go?
Yes. Go get the book.
Yes, of course. Our book is the book is called Speak Life and Live Full. It is available on Amazon.com. You can I don't want to give out your real. Well, I mean, hell, your real name is on the book, so you can either search Jimmy Lee Lard book or Halima Richardson book. Even though they have her name misspelled on there, I won't say whose fault it is. Maybe mine, but they have an H at the end of her name. Spell your name, baby.
Hallima.
With an H on the end, though.
Yeah.
And Richardson. Or you can just search, of course, the title of the book, Speak Life and Live Full. Well, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, on our page, we'll make sure there's a link over to the book as well. All right. So again, let's check you out next time. I'm so glad to have you, Hollie. Thanks for a good conversation as always. And we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. All right. Give Hollie a round of applause.
We on our way to our 12-step program.
Yes, that part.
To subscribe.